Hello and welcome back to the Wrexham Way. Hope you're all doing well and looking... Ow. I just bit my tongue. Oh, give me a minute. Not the best way to start an episode. Should we start again, shall we? Hello and welcome back to the Wrexham Way. Hope you're all doing well and looking forward to today's episode. Hope you're all doing well and looking forward to this one as we take on Bayer Leverkusen and Arsenal in the Champions League and Premier League respectively, where things are going relatively well. Not as well as we maybe would have wanted to, but relatively well. Make sure you do drop a like on today's video though, subscribe if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below letting me know how you think we're going to fare this season based on what you see from the results in between fixtures, where, as you can see, things have been good, but they've not been brilliant. Now, you were last here for the 2-1 win against West Ham United, a decent win for us. We then had a game against Everton where we won 1-0, and, well, we did have the majority of the shots in that game, but we couldn't really finish our chances, which was a bit frustrating. We then got even more frustrated against Leeds United with a 0-0, another game where we had a fair few chances, but just couldn't really finish them off, which was quite annoying. We kicked off our Champions League campaign against Athletic Bilbao, and we won 2-0. Nice and Neil Mazturk with the goals in that one, which was a nice start to the Champions League for us. As you can see, again, a bit more of a dominating game, that one. We did match our XG quite nicely, which was pretty decent. We then took on Tottenham. Pereira scored the only goal of the game, as Brighton B was also sent off in the 42nd minute for 2 yellow cards. So down to 10 men, we still managed to come away with the 3 points there, but of course Tottenham aren't really that great. We have seen them get relegated to the Championship before, and they almost got relegated last season as well. We then had a bit of a gimme game against Rochdale in the EFL Cup third round. We played a rotated team, although Pereira did play in that game and did get a goal, but we won it 5-2, so a pretty comfortable game. Before we lost 3-4 to Newcastle United, as you can see there, and we weren't the better team in that game. Newcastle are actually quite far down the table. We played the better of the football, more possession, more shots, but they got 4 of them in the back of the net. It was frustrating, and a game that hopefully we're not going to repeat too much of this season. So as you can see, yes, we are on top in games, but we're not playing the brilliant football that we were kind of used to seeing towards the end of last season, or did against Aston Villa in the first game of the season. It's been a little bit frustrating, and as a result, yes, we're only 6 games into the season, but we are only 5th as things stand, so obviously a long way to go for us to turn that around, and I'm sure we will do at some point, but cracks may be starting to appear in this team. I will say, though, we are keeping more clean sheets than last season, which is a lot nicer as well. Kamara coming in, aside from conceding 4 goals to Newcastle, has only conceded 1 goal so far this season. So a bit of a blip for him there, but he's been great. It's just that we don't appear to be the free-flowing team that we maybe were last season. Hopefully that changes today as we take on Bayer Leverkusen in the second Champions League game of the group stage. We're at home in this one, so it should be a routine win. And this is the team that just played against Newcastle and lost to Newcastle, so it's our strongest team, but still it's a bit frustrating that they couldn't get the result there. Either way, Kamara, Balestra, Luis Felipe, Hoya and Neto in the back line. Tarpe, Alparslan, Paniatov and Daniel Patrick in the middle, with Nice and Pereira leading the line. Now, to be fair, Newcastle did get Champions League football last season. Until the final few games of the season, they were looking like they were going to maybe even win the Premier League title. So we can't be too dismissive of Newcastle beating us 4-3. They are in the Champions League as well. We'll see them playing at some point in today's game on the right-hand side of the screen for latest scores and things like that. So we can't dismiss them. They are a pretty decent team. But it was frustrating because they had a very slow start to the season, which is something we need to combat. We need a good, strong start to a season to make sure we're up there by the end of the season. Luckily, we are having a strong start here in the Champions League. Frank Nice opening up the scoring here less than 5 minutes into the game with Luis Felipe into Alparslan through to Nice, who slots it past the keeper. Excellent stuff. Yeah, Newcastle taking on Lille right now in their group. Their group's pretty simple, I think, actually. They've got Lille in there, haven't they? Sporting and Ostend. So if they don't win that, I'd be frustrated for them. Long clearance out from the back from the Bayer Leverkusen keeper, but Hoyer does win it, and Daniel Patrick gets the ball into Pereira. Out wide to Neto, who's got a bit of time and space to find the ball back to Pereira. Marked by two men, does get the cross into Nice, who puts that one into the top corner to grab his 8th of the season so far. Okay, this feels better. Already in this first 20 minutes or so, we are playing so much better than we did in between episodes for the most part. Maybe this team just love to play for the cameras. That's what they like. They love being on show. And you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it because it's a much better performance than we've seen in the past few games. But of course, we are only 24 minutes into this game. A lot can happen as Leverkusen work the ball out to the left-hand side of their attack, bringing it forward now into the channels. Great challenge there from Hoyer to win it back, and Neto collects the second ball. But as I spoke too soon. Spoke too soon. I mean, I'm not quite sure who Neto's looking for here. One of those two? I mean, I'm not quite sure who to blame. It's a combination of errors there for a lot of people. I'll be honest, it's a fantastic strike from Ocon, who is a player that we looked to sign a good few years ago, and we never got him because he went to Leverkusen. I think he stayed at Leverkusen for like 5 or 6 years now, but Ocon was definitely a player that I recall trying to sign, a midfielder, if I recall correctly. But we may have just won a penalty. We have just won a penalty, and stepping up is Frank Nice for his hat-trick. He gets his hat-trick inside of 26 minutes. So the 2-goal lead restored. Very happy. I think he's called Marcel Ocon as well. Marcel Ocon? Marcin Ocon, or Marcin Ocon. And we did try to sign him. You may remember him from Mainz. He was Polish. Obviously played really well for Bayer Leverkusen. And I wish we had him. He looks like a really good player. But just one of the many players that we never managed to sign because they went to other clubs in the end. It's weird how that stuck in my mind, though, because a lot of them don't. But he seemed to really stick in my mind for a while. As Pereira brings the ball down to Frank Nice, who shoots and puts that one in the back of the net. You love to see it. 4-goal Nice inside of 32 minutes. Okay, we're back on track. And just before half-time, there is another highlight, which hopefully is going in our favour as Tarpe plays it back to Kamara, the keeper, who comes out and plays it into Luis Felipe, into Balestra, into Paniotov, into Alparson, over the top to Pereira, who needs to score a goal here today, really, and, well, isn't going to score it like that. So, at half-time, Wrexham 4, Bayer Leverkusen 1, scoring their only shot on target of the half, which is frustrating, one, because it's their only shot on target, and our keeper hasn't actually made a save, which is frustrating, but two, the way in which that goal was scored was rather frustrating. But if that's the only defensive error we're going to have like all season or something like that, I'm sure it won't be, but if it was, that would be absolutely fine by me, as Pereira's been put through, and Pereira makes it 5. Although, VAR getting involved here. What's this about then, lads? Talk to me. Talk to me. It counts. Okay, you love to see it. Was he? How? Yeah, he was onside. He was onside. I mean, the VAR said he's onside, so we can't dispute it. Don't want to see it again because it was very, very tight, I think. Either way, a highlight immediately after that as Bayer Leverkusen needs something dramatic now to get themselves back in this game in the hope of any sort of points in this group stage game, as the ball passed around at the back quite nicely into Paniotov, who hoofed it up to Pereira, and he does win it, but he's got 4 defenders to take on, plays it back to Daniel Patrick, who just gives the ball away immediately. I don't know what he's trying. Wins it back though. Patrick in the middle, Nice. God, I can't score his 5th goal of the game. So unlucky. I think as well, given that we are 5-1 up, let's make some early changes in this game to rest some key players ahead of the game against Arsenal. So, Daniel Patrick, let's bring him off for Vasco Sousa. Let's get Nice off the pitch for Randy Ramheimer. Let him get rested up. And we might make a change in like 10 minutes or so, just when someone else gets a little bit more tired. But those key players, let's rest them up, and hopefully they'll be on firing form for the next game as well. Paniotov also looking a bit tired out there as the clock ticks on. He's a star player for us, on a yellow card too. Let's not risk him. Let's bring Asperon through the middle of the pitch. So, 20 minutes to go in this one, and there is a highlight right now, as we should also probably maybe make some adjustments to the tactics just to make sure these players aren't going for it hand over fist for the rest of the game. Let's try and slow it down and save a little bit of fitness in these players, because the game against whatever they're called, Arsenal, that's what they're called, in a few days' time, is only in a few days' time. I think we only get 2 days of rest in between, so it's not long to wait at all, and we want these players to be on form, particularly as I don't think... I know Arsenal must be playing Europa League football, so maybe actually they'll have less rest than us. That would be quite nice if that is the case, because that might play into our advantage, because they are currently ahead of us in the Premier League table, as Bayer Leverkusen do grab a consolation goal. Hopefully just that. So let's wind the game down a little bit, shall we? Let's go into possession. Let's just drop the tempo, more direct passing, and time waste a little bit. And let us slow the pace down a little bit. Let's do that, shall we? Also, has Pedro Pereira picked up a knock here? It says injured on Pedro Pereira. Is he on the... Wait, I don't remember taking him off the pitch. When did Pedro... He must have picked up an injury as we pressed the tactics button to slow the game down. That's the only explanation I can think of, because I did not see any notification. The tactics didn't come up for us to change him or anything like that. Obviously, we can't make the sub because we've made 3 already, so we've got to go down to 10 men, and that's not going to stop us, because Asper gets his 8th goal of the season. 8th goal for Asper? That can't be right. Is that right? I know that Spring gets bugged out every now and again, but I don't think that can be right, if I'm honest with you. We'll double check Asper's goal-scoring form. I know he got 1 or 2 in the game against Rochdale in the EFL Cup, but I can't think of him getting 6 other goals aside from this one. Like, net down to 9 men. So now this one comes... it's interesting, this. Well, we can move Felipe to right back, Tarpe into centre back, and that might have to do for the rest of the game, to be fair. But this is a weird game going down to 9 men. A 9-goal thriller as well to add to that. Weird game. Well, hopefully Pereira's injury isn't too bad, because he is obviously a crucial player for us. And if we do have to go down and miss, hopefully it's not long. Like a week or 2 at most, that would be quite nice. But I'm a little concerned about that. He's injured for 1 to 3 days. That's fine. That's okay. Nothing major. It's just weird how he got taken off without me or us being told about it, right? But money for winning that game as well. Okay. 3 days until the Arsenal game, 2 days off in between. So let's go training rest for everyone who started that game, because we're going to need them for Arsenal. In terms of training, though, Bright Airbnb not training very well, but the man with supposedly 8 goals to his name this season, Asper, I can't recall him scoring 8 goals. Reports form, 1 goal there, 2... Yeah, he's not scored 8 goals, so that did bug out. He only got 3. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Because I was suddenly panicking, like, how have I missed him scoring 8 goals? But obviously the thing is bugged out at the bottom, because it always just shows like random stuff, really. I mean, I was about to check myself in for Alzheimer's or something. That was concerning. So, for the Arsenal game, there's a few players lacking a bit of fitness, including Pedro Pereira. We'll swap him and Nice over, and we'll bring Randy Ramheimer onto the bench. Then what we'll do is probably move Neto off the pitch. And we might we'll bring Deston. Let's bring Deston at right back. We'll leave the 2 centre-backs in position. Although it might be an idea to bring Arian B on for Hoyer. Let's just do that, just to have a bit of fitness at the back. Yilmaz is tired. Let's bring 8-goal Asper onto the pitch and see how that goes against Arsenal. So hopefully after the... mental game against Leverkusen, I just want a nice, quiet, calm game here where everyone just gets along nicely, no injuries, no red cards, nothing like that. I just want 1 or 2 goals in our favour in the first 10 minutes, and then the rest of the game fly by without any highlights. That's all I'm asking for. All I'm asking for. Obviously in our favour. Please don't think I want them to score by Arsenal. But Frank Nice might think Arsenal should win it now that I've said all this, because he just missed an absolute sitter there. And an injury. Great. Now, the big issue we have is that René Nouri is currently injured as well. And, Arian B can play left back. So let's do that and bring Nopadon onto the pitch at centre back. Okay, not the ideal start to the game. But we've got Our highlights, hopefully in our favour. Noppadon bringing it forward into Dest as he brings it forward to Frank Nice, who flicks it on to no one. Arsenal then playing it around at the back. Their keeper, in my opinion, the best keeper in the world. The man we wanted to sign and Arsenal would not let go for £180 million when we offered it, is in the sticks. We're going to have to be at our very, very best today if we want to beat him, as we are passing the ball around quite nicely. But can we pass it into the back of a net? That's what I'd like to do instead. Arian B, long ball forward to Nice, is not too bad to be fair. And Daniel Patrick plays Nice through. Second time of asking, second time denied. And immediately afterwards, a highlight in Arsenal's favour as Tomiyasu gets the ball out on the right-hand side, puts it into the middle. Jude Bellingham's there, but luckily his shot is terrible and Kamara can collect that one comfortably. I tell you what, at this stage, with 7 goals conceded in the past 2 games against Newcastle and Bayer Leverkusen, I'd take a 0-0. I would take a 0-0 at this stage. But something tells me this game is not going to be 0-0. There's going to be goals in it, and I think goals for both teams. As Asper brings the ball forward, out wide. Can he get a ball in the middle? He can. Ramheimer can't win it. It goes over the top of the defender. Nice is there at the penalty spot, and he can lash it home into the bottom corner. The best keeper in the world cannot keep that one out, which is absolutely perfect for us. Great work here from Asper to get it down the wing, deliver a great ball in there, and it does, yeah, the defender can't reach it, and it just falls kindly for Nice in behind, and he puts it in the back of the net. So maybe slightly against the run of play, 1-0 to us. 36 minutes on the clock. But Arsenal now with a chance as Bellingham cuts forward, a great ball through into Dominic, and he cannot put that one in the back of the net. Nico Mantle, would he have made that save? I don't think so. Kamara did make that save, and proves to me that we did make the right choice bringing him in. He is one of the best shot stoppers in the game. I think his shot stopping is around 18, 19, something like that. It's so high. So it is one of the best shot stoppers in the game. Obviously, other areas could be improved a little bit. In fact, I think it's the only area he's better than the Arsenal keeper in shot stopping. The Arsenal keeper better everywhere else, apart from eccentricity, actually, which is quite nice too. But still, a lot of areas to be a goalkeeper. The Arsenal keeper is the best. But right now, maybe he's not, because we're the team winning this game. Let's not debate it too much, because I'm sure it'll backfire on me at some point, as Paniotov shot there, nicely saved by the keeper. So, if we can keep the results going in our favour right now, as Paniotov's free kick is wide of the mark, it will put us back into the top 4 ahead of Arsenal, but 3 points behind Manchester United, who have had a superb start to the season. They're on plus 20 goal difference already. They are absolutely flying. And they showed it in the Charity Shield match we played against them. We won it 3-0, but they absolutely dominated us. We did not deserve to win that game, let alone 3-0. So United are running riot this season, having a great time. And looks like Leicester and Man City right up there as well. We knew Man City would be. Leicester, not so much, but they are there as it stands at the moment. But as it stands right now in this fixture, I've completely neglected to make changes because I was too busy looking at the table and the clock has raced down. We've picked up 3 points. You love to see it. That's a huge 3 points for us. Should give us an awful lot of confidence going forward, and a big win against the rival too. That is the tip of the iceberg for me. So, next episode then, well, I think it's pretty simple. We have to come back for the AC Milan game down here, and then we'll also do Man City as well. Potentially Liverpool as well, who are 16th in the table right now. Poor start to the season for them. Maybe we could even do 4 games next episode, potentially. We'll see how things go in the Champions League until then, because right now, it looks like potentially if we beat Milan in the 3rd game and then beat them in the 4th game, we might actually be automatically put through without having to play against Leverkusen or Athletic Bilbao again. So we'll see how that one pans out. But next episode could be quite tasty. So thank you ever so much for watching today. Hope you guys have enjoyed. It's been a pretty decent episode in terms of results. I mean, that first game against Bayer Leverkusen was crazy, but at least we won it. So make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new around here, and I will see you next time for big games in our race for the Champions League. Have a good one. Goodbye.